I'm Kelly Griffin, and this is Across the Aisle, a podcast on bipartisanship by the National Conference of State Legislatures. What could have been a routine school assembly for New Mexico fifth graders at Monte Vista in Las Cruces turned into a history-making project that resulted in a new law. Now, their state is the first to have an official aroma, the smell of green chilies roasting. They didn't just work across the aisle, they worked across generations. Senator William Soules, who sponsored the bill, is retired after a long career as a school teacher and administrator in their same Las Cruces school district. It started when he visited the fifth grade classes to talk about government.
So as a teacher, I was trying to engage the students and find ways of doing that. And so I started asking them kind of a rapid fire quizzing. Anybody know what the state bird of New Mexico is? And kid raised his hand, it's the roadrunner. And someone else knew the state mammal's the black bear. And so I started asking the harder ones, like the state insect. And one of the kids did know it's the tarantula hawk wasp. And I said, anyone know we have a state question, which in New Mexico is red or green? Do you want at a restaurant, do you want your chili red or green? And if you want both, you're supposed to say Christmas. And about then, as I recall, one of the students said something like, oh, I love the smell of chili roasting.
And boom, a roomful of fifth graders agreed it was a defining aroma in their state. Asked fifth grader Samuel Williams.
It's almost like you go under a smell whenever you smell it, just slowly walking toward the grill and just,
It's the scent of fall when roasters are turning steel mesh barrels over open flames, set up in parking lots and other public spaces. You can't miss it.
And I said, you guys want to help me make history? Let's see if we can pass the official aroma of New Mexico, the smell of chili roasting in the fall.
The chili is already highlighted in the state question, as we heard, and it seems New Mexico is the only state with an official question. And chilies are also the state vegetable. Never mind that it's actually a fruit. We won't quibble. So it might seem like anointing it as the official aroma would be a slam dunk. But the students were going to have to do the work.
I told them, if we're going to do this, this is adult stuff. I mean, though this is a fun bill, this is a real bill. And you guys are going to have to learn how to lobby and how to contact legislators and how to do public speaking and write letters and learn all about chili. And they and the teachers were up for the task.
So they did their research to learn all they could about chilies. They checked with the state agricultural department to learn chilies generated more than $46 million for the state in 2022, and that was up $1 million from the year before. They plastered the walls in their classrooms with drawings to explain things like the Scoville heat index. And they found out scientists have not even been able to explain what makes them smell the way they do. They wrote letters to legislators and prepared comments for a hearing, which they joined by Zoom.
The real experts for this are the fifth grade classes at Monte Vista Elementary in Las Cruces. So if you would please kind of introduce this bill for us.
Madam Chairman and Senators, my name is Ashaya Potter and I am a fifth grade student at Monte Vista Elementary School in Las Cruces, New Mexico. My classmates and I are here to ask for your support and vote to make the smell of chili roasting in the fall the official aroma of New Mexico. Is there anyone in the room who does not know what chili roasting smells like?
That's Ashaya Potter. She gave an opening statement as the fifth graders sat quietly in the classroom behind her. Members of the committee seemed to want the students to have the full experience of defending their proposal. Committee member Daniel Ivy Soto asked whether they had considered other aromas.
I guess my question for the students is, New Mexico is a big state, and while I completely understand the aroma of green chili roasting in the fall as being an official aroma of New Mexico, I guess I'm wondering if perhaps we should include the smell of money in southeast New Mexico created by oil and gas, or if we should include the smell of some of the dairies that we have in New Mexico or other industries that can be rather aromatic.
I guess any of our students like to respond to that comment about whether the smell of oil and gas should be included in the aroma bill or the smell of dairies. What would you all think?
Senator Soules, Ben would like to address that for you.
Ben, please.
That's student Ben Geiger.
Green chili should be the state aroma because no matter where you go in New Mexico, you're going to be smelling green chili. But other areas in New Mexico, they don't have the smell of cows and other stuff. But roasting green chili is everywhere. Like if you were to go to Albuquerque, you will be able to smell it. But if you go to Albuquerque, you won't be able to smell.
Lots of people might consider the smell of cows more of an odor or a stench instead of an aroma.
Certainly no, and I appreciate the young man's answer to the question. It really is a statewide aroma, and so thank you. He convinced me on this.
It passed out of committee on a unanimous vote, and it didn't hurt that there was no fiscal impact attached to the bill. The state legislative analyst Amanda Dick Petty broke with the usual protocol and had some fun with her fiscal report, throwing a little shade on Colorado, the neighbor to the north, with its own chili history. She wrote, "New Mexico has consistently lower visitation rates than neighboring Colorado. The new state Aroma could help draw visitors away from Colorado, which, for some reason, thinks it has green chili comparable to that of New Mexico." Of course, it wasn't over yet after the committee vote, and the students continued to lobby for their bill as it proceeded through the Senate and the House. As word got out, the idea gained national and international attention. Soles was interviewed by The Washington Post, NPR, CNN, USA Today. The Guardian in the UK headlined their story, Santa Fe. When the bill came up for debate on the Senate floor, 3 students, teacher Christina Campbell, and some parents made the 4-hour drive to Santa Fe to advise Senator Soles. The students sat next to him on the floor of the Senate, waiting quietly and patiently through about 3 hours of other business before the bill came up. Samuel Williams was there that day, and he says it wasn't what he expected.
One thing that was kind of unusual is how casual they were, you know? I was expecting it to be kind of like in court where the judge would have to say, "All rise for the court." But it was very casual and senators could leave for a sec and go get something or, and it was just really casual. And also how everything kind of clicked into place with little laws about like a certain type of grain, we should lower the taxing on that, or just small things, and it just kind of all clicks into place on making a better state society.
In the end, the bill passed 31-4. One of the senators who voted no said it just wasn't a good use of time. Soles says just the consideration of the bill has already paid off in the kind of attention for New Mexico the state couldn't buy. And the students and teachers at Monte Vista Elementary School in Las Cruces say it was very valuable to them. Campbell, the teacher, says it was a great refresher for her on the ins and outs of state government. The students learned so much and grew to care about the work of the state legislature. They have a sense that they can be part of making a difference in their community and in the state. And they think it is a good idea that will help the state economically and serve as a source of pride.
It makes me feel amazing because it was very helpful for the state. When the bill finally passed, we knew that we had accomplished something.
That's 5th grader Jace Snoddy, followed by Brinley Atkinson. And Brinley, for one, could see herself working in the State House someday.
When I grow up, I would like to be an astrophysicist, and maybe once I'm done with that, I could become like a senator.
All that was left was the signing, and of course it had to happen in the school. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham showed up with Senator Soles to greet hundreds of cheering students. The students call themselves the Wolf Pack, and their mascot, a blue and gray wolf, helped pump up the crowd.
They were lining the halls, cheering like they'd seen, the biggest rock star in the country, high-fiving her as she walked by. And I commented to some of her staff, it's like, because she does other events in schools. It's like this every time she goes to school, you're like, oh no. This is the first time it's ever been this big a deal.
The governor praised the students for all their hard work to make New Mexico the first state with a designated aroma.
And that was your idea, and nobody else in the country has had that idea. And it makes me incredibly proud to be here to thank the students and the staff, all of the educators and the leadership. Senate Bill 188 is now hereby law of the land.
The state aroma may be historic in another way. It's probably the first bill signing celebrated with a wolf howl. I'm Kelly Griffin. Thanks for listening to Across the Aisle, NCSL's podcast on bipartisanship. I want to thank Michael Rodriguez with the Las Cruces School District Communications team, who supplied the video of the governor signing the bill. You can see that at our website at ncsl.org. As always, we'd like to hear your stories of bipartisanship. Email a quick note to acrosstheaisle@ncsl.org.
You can check out all of the podcasts from the National Conference of State Legislatures by searching for NCSL Podcasts wherever you get your podcasts. Tim Story, NCSL's CEO, hosts Legislatures, The Inside Story, where he focuses on leadership in legislatures. The Our American States podcast dives into some of the most challenging public policy issues facing legislators today. Also check out our special series, Building Democracy, on the colorful history of legislatures.